tasty pastry. It's a low-carb Pop-Tart. It's got 3 to 4 grams of net carbs, and we love this show. This is our best place to be in LA.
Welcome back to Legendary Foods Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today is Wednesday, January 5th, 2022. And let's find out what's going on in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. We're starting off the show today with something that feels like we haven't done in forever, which is bringing you a brand new update from Cedric McMillan. Last week, he released this video of himself running through a few mandatory poses a little less than 9 weeks out from making his return to the Arnold Classic stage, where he's hoping to get himself back on track after a rough 2021. As far as bodybuilding is concerned, 2021 was a very rough year for Cedric, with the injuries and all the other things that he was dealing with. So hopefully he can right the ship here and gain some traction, because there's a whole new generation of guys who are ready and willing to take his place at the top of the mountain. And once that starts to happen, there's usually no turning back. Speaking of guys who are ready and willing to make the leap, Brett Wilkin is starting to look like he's ready to make all the leaps heading into the first Arnold Classic that he's slated to compete in. Brett released an update last Saturday and said things are moving very fast right now, which feels like a huge understatement considering how sharp he looked in the photo. Even though we haven't seen him compete at a show of this magnitude before, the sense you get from people who are in his circle is that he's more than ready to meet the challenge. Every so often we go through this phase in bodybuilding where we pass the torch from one group of athletes to another before we even realize that it's happening. And if Brett rises to the occasion, this could end up being one of those pass the torch moments that we all look back at and remember. Listen, you know someone's off-season is going well when they have to start using the panoramic mode on their camera to start taking their bathroom selfies. And if Iain Valliere gets any bigger, that's going to become a reality from him, from where I'm seeing pretty soon. The stuff we're seeing from Iain in the mirror in the gym right now is crazy, because he's basically turning into a real-life version of Bane from Batman. The guy is starting to look like some sort of movie supervillain who's just bigger and stronger than everyone else on the screen. And one of the wildest things about this is that he's basically done some version of this for the last 2 or 3 years. And the end result has him turning himself into one of the top 10 bodybuilders on the planet. So if this is the bizarre version of the movie where the villain ends up smashing the superhero and taking over the city, everyone is in trouble, because it doesn't look like he has any plans of slowing down. And just in case you needed a little bit of midweek motivation to get you through the day, we're closing out the show today with this new update from former 8-time Mr. Olympia champ Ronnie Coleman, who looks like he's gotten this new year off to a good start. Given all the health and injury issues that he's had over the last few years, it's great to see Ronnie training back at his old stomping grounds of Metroflex, because it brings back that sense of nostalgia from back in the heyday. He's been such an inspiration to so many people over the years that it's impossible to calculate how big his impact has been. And as long as he's still out there and still training and still present, he's going to continue to be one of the most influential people in our community. And if that doesn't motivate you and get you out there to do something today, well, then you might want to check your pulse. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions, and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.